Good morning, friends. So, in previous lecture, we discussed the interpretation of curves. We discussed how we are going to shift the gears from first to second to third, and how we are going to again shift from third to second to first. After that, we discussed the gear trains, different types of the gear trains. Now, we discuss next it is the principle of gearing. The principle of gearing. So, as we know that to obtain the various speeds, to obtain the various torques, so gear wheels of different sizes are provided in a gearbox for engaging or disengaging them for transmission of motion and power. Gear wheels of different sizes are provided in gearbox for engaging or disengaging them for transmission of motion and power. No mechanical advantage is provided when two gear wheels of same size are meshed together. It is obvious that when two gears of same size are meshed with each other, there is no mechanical advantage. Drive wheel only takes place if gear wheel are meshed together. Drive also takes place when the gear wheels are meshed together. The large gear meshed with smaller gear will drive the small wheel at the increased speed or vice versa. A large gear meshed with small gear will drive a small wheel at increased speed or vice versa. So by using the gear wheels of different sizes, the engine speed could be varied without any change in a vehicle speed. So this helps to maintain the vehicle speed under varying working conditions to make available extra power from the. So this is the principle of gearing. Very important. That so many times it is asked in the oral examination. What is the principle of gearing? So by using the different sizes of gear, we are going to measure the different sizes of gears with each other, and by that way we are going to get the different various speeds as well as various torques. Now let's see the next point. It is the types of the gearboxes. So there are different types of the gearboxes: sliding mesh gearbox, constant mesh gearbox, synchro mesh gearbox, epicyclic gearbox. So let's discuss first the sliding mesh gearbox. So this is the simplest type of gearbox. Sliding mesh gearbox is the simplest type of gearbox. So this figure gives a simplified view of the gearbox. The power comes from the engine to the clutch shaft. The power comes from the engine to this clutch shaft. Get it? And then the clutch gear, which is always in mesh with the gears on the lay shaft. The power always comes from the engine to the clutch shaft. On the clutch shaft, clutch gear is mounted, and this clutch gear is always meshed with the gears on the lay shaft, or it is also called the counter shaft. Get it? The power comes from the engine to the clutch shaft. Then the clutch gear, which is always meshed with the gears, which is fixed on the lay shaft. So all the gears on the lay shaft are fixed. All the gears on the lay shaft are fixed to it, and as such that they are all time rotating when the engine is running. Because the clutch gear is always meshed with the gear on the lay shaft, and as the gears on the lay shaft are fixed on the lay shaft, so as the engine is running, clutch gear is rotating, means all the gears on the lay shaft is also rotating when engine is running and clutch is engaged. So this diet and one reverse speeds are attained on suitably moving the gear on the main shaft by means of selector mechanism. If you see here, main shaft is provided. It is having the external splines. On the external spline of this main shaft, the gears, it is this large gear, that is to get the first and reverse gear. Why large gear? As we know that in first gear or reverse gear, we require the less speed. That's why this gear size is a large. So D gear, that is the first and reverse gear, large size gear. Then gear second and high speed gear, that is a F, that is having again the less number of teeth compared to the first and reverse. As we require in second gear speed, we require the more. So on this main shaft, these gears are to be located at, and these gears are going to be slides on the main shaft. Getting? So this direct and one reverse speeds are attained on suitably moving the gear on the main shaft. Means when we have to engage the gears, we have to slide these gears on the main shaft. Getting? By means of selector mechanism. So it is not shown in the figure. The selector mechanism is provided. By using this gear lever, we are going to operate the selector mechanism, and by that way we are going to slide this gear, and we are going to be engaged these gears with the lay shaft gears. So these various positions are shown in figure. You see there are various positions are shown in the figure. So the engagement during the gear change require greater driving skill. During the engagement we require the greater driving skills. Introduce the considerable noise. They also introduced the considerable noise and provided the lower mechanical efficiency. So only spur gears are to be installed on them in case of sliding mesh. As we have to engage the gears by sliding the gears, here we require the spur gears only. Here we are not going to be use the helical gears, because helical gears is having the helix contour. Helix shape is there for that gears, and by that way it is not useful in the sliding mesh gearbox. So due to these shortcomings, the sliding mesh gearbox could not get popularity, and better improvement was obtained in the form of constant mesh gearbox that we studied in the next lecture. So in the sliding mesh gearbox, the name itself suggests that we are going to engage the gear by sliding the gears. We are going to get the different types of the gear ratios by sliding the gears. So it derives its names from the fact that meshing of the gears takes place by sliding of gears on each other. Sliding of gears on each other. Now see these figures, various gear position figures. So this A, it represents the first gear. So the largest gear on the main shaft. So which is the largest gear on the main shaft? That is the D. So the largest gear on the main shaft is driven by the smallest gear on the lay shaft. Which is the smallest gear? It is a C. So the smallest gear on the lay shaft is drives the largest gear on the main shaft. So corresponding we are going to get the increasing torque and speed reduction. So with corresponding increasing torque, the speed reduction is quite high. So when climbing and moving up the steep hills, this gear is usually used. While climbing the steep hills, moving the steep hills, this gear is usually used. That is about the first gear. Thus, the larger gear is to be driven by the smaller gear of the lay shaft. By that way, we get the less speed and high torque. Now, second gear. That is for second gear. So, in this gear, there is a less speed. In second gear, we require the less speed reduction and smaller torque increase. So, compared to the first gear, in this case, we require the somewhat high speed and we require the smaller decrease in the torque. So, how we are going to obtain this increasing the speed and reduction in the torque? So, for that case, we are going to drive this second gear. We have to drive this second gear by using the C. By using the gear, it is a E. If you see here, E gear, which is a larger gear, F gear, that is a lower gear, less number of teeth, E having the larger number of teeth. In that case, we are going to increase the speed and reduce the torque. That is for the second gear. Now, top gear. For top gear. So, in order to revolve the primary and main shaft at the same speed, without any change in the torque, the main shaft is driven through the dog clutch in this gear. So, here dog clutch is provided. We directly revolve the primary shaft and the main shaft with the equal speed. So, in order to revolve a primary and main shaft at the same speed without any change in the torque, the main shaft is driven through a dog clutch in this gear. So, dog clutch is provided. If you see here, the primary, this clutch shaft, that is the primary shaft, which is directly connected with the main shaft. By that way, we get the equal speed. That is the top gear. And last, it is the reverse gear. So in this gear, speed reduction is same as that in first gear. In this gear, in this reverse gear, speed reduction is same as that in first gear, but the direction of rotation of the main shaft will be reversed by introducing an idler in it. So requirement of the speed and torque is similar, but direction of motion is a reverse. And for that purpose, here we introduce the idler gear. Introduce the idler gear. And by that way, we reverses the direction of motion of the main shaft. So it is due to this change in the direction of rotation of the driving wheels provided by the idler that the motor vehicle moves in a reverse direction. So here it is shown in the D, reverse gear. So here also the less number of teeth, means this G, which is drive gear, is going to mesh with the larger gear on the main shaft, that is the D. And for that, the idler gear is to be introduced so that the direction will be reverses. Direction of the main shaft will be reverses. So in that way, the reverse gear we get. In that way, we get the reverse gear. So that is about the sliding mesh gearbox. Here also, in the slides, we mention all the points. This is thoroughly. Neutral position, first gear, second gear, third gear, reverse gear. All the points we are here covered. That is thoroughly. So many times we are going to ask about the sliding mesh gearbox. What are the different shortcomings with the sliding mesh gearbox? So as we discussed, the shortcomings like it requires the greater driving skill, considerable noise creation is there. It provided the lower mechanical efficiency. Likewise, the different shortcomings are there, and because of that, the need of the constant mesh gearbox arises. So, by improving in the sliding mesh gearbox, we are going to use the constant mesh gearbox with somewhat improvement. So, in sliding mesh gearbox, we are using the spur gears only because the name itself, it derives its name from the fact that the meshing of the gear takes place by sliding the gears on each other. For that, we require the spur gear. Spur gear is essential. If helix gear are there, it is not possible to slide the gear and engage the gears. So next lecture we will see the constant mesh gear.